Okay, so you want to learn how to make a wooden lure on a lathe. If you can stick with me a few minutes, I'll show you the proper way to turn a small wooden fishing lure on a lathe. Uh, First thing to consider is what length of lure you're going to make, and if you want a lure body that's 4 inches long, I would suggest cutting your lure block exactly 4 inches long, because what we're going to do is turn this lure block all the way down to each end. Then the end of that lure block will be the end of your lure, and I'll tell you a little more about the reason for doing that later once we make the lure body. First thing you need to do before you put the block in the lathe is to mark your lure block right in the dead center on each end, and that's simply to facilitate proper alignment in your live center and in your spur center, so when you put it in there you got it exactly in the center. So from here we move ahead. For most of the wood removal on the lure body, I'm going to use a cutting tool. It's like a gouge type tool. Okay, at this point I've pretty much got the basic shape of the lure that I want. In this case I'm making a torpedo shape propeller lure. So I'm going to switch from the main cutting tool, the gouge, over to a parting tool to finish the lure body off and to part off each end of the lure smoothly. And the next step to finish the lure body off is to take a piece of 120 grit sandpaper and smooth it down. Okay, going back to what I mentioned earlier about the importance of cutting your lure block exactly the same length as you want your final lure to be, is that by having the spur center and the live center exactly in the center of the end of each lure, it's perfectly centered for installation of your eye screws. And making it that way as opposed to a lure body like this, you would have to detach each of these tabs on the end, then somehow try to center a hole in the end of it to drill. And that's a little hard to do, to get in the center, where by turning your lure block all the way down to the end, that's already done. The other thing is that there's some waste of wood here. You have to break these ends off. Then thirdly, you end up with, if you're making several lures like this, they're all going to be a little different length, because it's hard to leave the same amount each time. So if you want all your lures to be the same length of the style that you're making, and the hole and the dead center in each end for your eye screws, that's the way to do it. So with that, you pretty much got your basic lure body made.